Hi guys, Steve here. I was looking forward to Fallout 76, so much so I even pre-ordered the Power Armor edition. The first time ever I actually purchased a collector's edition because I love the look of the helmet. I planned this to be the first piece of my collector's gear shelf, and maybe just walk around the house with nothing on apart from a helmet. I was hoping that this would be a really good survival game, where I could bring the new Blitzgang over and finally get back into PvP. However, the more information Bethesda started to put out there, the more I became worried. It's not long before the game releases, and important information has still not officially been nailed down. The first main problem is that it looks like you can only have 4 players in a group. Well, what happens if you have more than 4 friends you want to play with? What are the rest of them going to do? It doesn't seem like they've addressed this at all, so it's going to put off many people with more than 4 friends from buying this game, as they can't play together, and this is a main reason why I'm not getting it anymore. I'm not going to leave my friends out when there are plenty of other survival games around that lets us all play in the same group. The next problem is that there is no human NPCs. Now, I didn't care so much about that, and that wouldn't have been a bigger problem as it is if there were loads of real human players on the server, but we'll come to that point next. In a normal Fallout game, a world is full of unique NPCs to talk to, that tell you about themselves, the world, and give you missions to do. But we know in this game all the human NPCs are dead, so we will miss out on all their interesting stories. To get missions you can talk to robots or do a ton of reading on consoles, as well as listen to holotapes from now long dead people talking, that tell you to go and find somebody, but you already know that person's dead. So you know you're going to find another body and another holotape that will give you the next part of the mission. Then another, and so on. They all seem like side quests, and that's going to get really boring fast. This wouldn't have been such a problem if there were lots of real life players on the server to interact with. But this brings us to the next problem. It looks like there are just 24 players on the server, and that's not many to talk to, even if you could. But you can't because there's no global, local or group chat, where you press enter, type what you want, and everyone can see it in the world or in your area. Instead, you have a visual emote system that you can use if you're opposite someone, but mostly a terrible in-game voice over IP system, where you can hear everything anyone's saying around you at high volume even if they're far away. You can't select the servers you want to join, so that makes the VoIP problem even worse for everyone who's in Europe, as they are lumped together so you hear people in foreign languages all the time that you can't understand, and that gets irritating really fast. You can turn the VoIP off to get some peace, but then there's no way to talk to anyone that you do meet on the map. With no human NPCs to talk to, and only up to 24 people on the server, I'm afraid that that's going to make the world seem like a big lonely place, especially for all you single players. The next problem is the game's PvP system. As in films, games are only as good as the bad guys you are fighting against. And for everyone who's done PvP, player versus player before, there is nothing more exciting or no better enemy than fighting real life players. If you have played a PvP version of an MMO, then gone to a PvE version, it feels like you're missing over half the game. With PvP you have the game's NPCs and creatures, then on top of that, better real life players to fight against. It seems to appease the traditional solo Fallout players, the ones worried about getting killed by other people. The devs have put in many Care Bear systems into the game to stifle the PvP, and ruining it for everyone who does want a good scrap. From not being able to attack somebody under a certain level, to not being able to damage somebody unless they return fire on you. Say for example, if you're a single player and you come up against a group of 2 or 3 players, you can just keep shooting one player, and the friends can't do any damage to you at all until you shoot and damage them. So if you wanted, you could fight only one guy at a time and kill him, then attack the next guy in the group and kill him, then when the first guy spawns back in and finds you, only then can 2 people from that group damage you at once. When you attack somebody, you can't steal their equipment, weapons or armour, only the scrap they are carrying. And if you kill people too many times, a bounty is put on your head with your own money and you're highlighted on the map so everyone can see you. But what I see as a big problem later on in a game when you have a really powerful weapon is a VATS system, where it auto-targets an enemy. VATS is fine in a single player, but not in a multiplayer game, as it's an aimbot where you don't even have to aim at the enemy to shoot them. If you get rocket launchers later on, you can roughly aim in someone's direction, turn VATS on, and just go around nuking everyone. The slowdown time has been removed, but I feel they only put it in the game because the single player Fallout players would miss it too much. They should have removed VATS and said it was just a time before it was invented. Then slow the faster creatures down so you can target them manually. On multiplayer games, it should be down to your skill when aiming at an enemy to kill them yourself, like every other multiplayer shooter game, not have an aimbot to help you. While on the subject of combat, the gun aiming does seem a bit sluggish. I'm on a 1080 Ti, so maybe it's a graphics engine that's over 10 years old that's struggling. The graphics look okay, but in some places like the water effects, they look like they're from a 20-year-old game. Oh, and the Pip-Boy menu system feels terrible to navigate. It's cramped and badly laid out. You have to keep scrolling the menu back on itself and it feels like a bad console controller port. So finally, instead of the devs and the Fallout players seeing this as a separate, mainly multiplayer survival game that's just set in the Fallout universe, where you have free reign to play with as many mates as you want, fight NPCs but more importantly other players freely, and create your own epic stories, bringing in a new existing survival player base to the Fallout universe from games like Ark, Conan and Rust. It looks like Bethesda have pandered to all the traditional single players who didn't want PvP, but I think they're going to miss all the human NPCs and the story. The true survival multiplayer's not going to be happy because the game feels more like a scavenging box opening simulator, and the PvP guys are certainly not going to be happy with all the Care Bear systems in place, because as soon as they start playing they're going to hate it because they can't kill anyone. So overall, Bethesda have ended up making a mix of a game that doesn't know what it is, or will make anyone really happy. The traditional solo Fallout players have other past solo Fallout games to play if they wanted to play by themselves, plus all the new single player Fallout games they'll make in the future. This is Bethesda's attempt at a multiplayer Fallout game, but they've aimed it too much at their current fanbase and watered down the multiplayer aspects. So yeah, these are my first impressions of the game from this very limited beta. You had to buy the game in the first place just to get into the beta to see if you like it, which is rubbish. It's like them hiding what a game's like until you pay for it, then hope you don't get a refund. The beta was only for a few hours on the few days the servers were up. It was on US time, so really late at night for the rest of the world. So if I get any of my info wrong, sorry about that, but we didn't give us enough time to beta test it properly, or give us enough information we needed. After preloading 47 gig of beta, we had to reinstall the whole game again due to a bug, so most people missed the first day. And the beta started 2 weeks before the game's launch, so they have almost no time to change anything from our feedback. So what you've seen in the beta is what the finished game's going to be like. So yeah, not very impressed at all. I'm sure you could still have fun in a group with friends like most multiplayer games, but I think single player is going to be lonely and quite boring. It's a shame, this game could have been so much better. For months I've been saying I'm excited about Fallout 76, but this is why I've cancelled my order. I wouldn't pre-order this game if I were you, because you don't get anything for doing so, and I would absolutely wait before the reviews to buy it. There we go. She's got the right idea.
What's that? Put the shit in the oven?
Yeah. If this video is helpful, please like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notified of when I upload next. There's links to my other videos at the end. Thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you again. Goodbye.